That is correct. Oh man, I just boomered that. That is correct. We do not have a new. Where the heck is that picture? There it is. We do not have a new intro yet, but I guess that worked out perfectly because I boomered it anyways. So it is no longer a stream by the crossroads. It's a spork of ice and fire, and you are here on a Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I am Scott from Sporking News, and I am happy to have you here either on YouTube or over on Rumble. I really appreciate both of you chatters and subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber or a follower, please, the links will be out for Rumble and YouTube. So please make sure you guys jump on and follow. We're only 11 away from 400 on Rumble, and YouTube, I just keep going backwards so I don't keep counting anymore. But tonight with us, we have two lovely ladies. We have the Bad Takes Bojan. That is Tina Bojan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited. At some point between last night and this morning, I tipped over the line of over 500 followers on Twitter, so that's a big thing for me. Yeah,
Ooh, good for you.
yeah. And knock on wood, I haven't lost any more subscribers, so I'm still at 100. I was up to 102, but that's okay.
It happens.
Uh, so
Get
I'm
used to
trying to get
YouTube taking them away.
Absolutely, I can only imagine. I just wish I had more time for videos because there's stuff that I want to do. I just, see,
I get it.
time keeps disappearing at other places, as you know.
I get it. I get it. I haven't done a video in so long, and it really does affect your channel, I guess. Um, I don't know. I would think if you stream a lot, they would realize that after a while, but luckily, Rumble does. The other night, Saturday night, when we went exclusive on Rumble, it was pretty sweet. As we were ending, it jumped up from like 40 people watching to almost 100. And then afterwards, there was a couple, we're almost up to 2,000 people watched that episode of Thinking
Wow,
Random. So that was pretty cool.
that
Um,
is very cool.
yeah. So I'm really digging the whole Rumble thing. But before we go say hi to the chat, wait for more people to come in, we have the lovely Miss Martin Muses. How are you?
Hey, glad I'm here. It's
I'm
been a
glad you're here too.
wild, rough day, but I'm here and ready to talk some trash, maybe.
Yeah,
And
we
of you
always
other.
end up doing it.
Well, you know why.
Yeah, we do. We do. We will be talking about some good stuff. We'll be
Yes.
talking about some House of the Dragon updates. Maybe not good stuff. Characters they're going to be leaving out, which I understand for TV. Sometimes you have to do that, but I feel like one or two of the characters they picked kind of are important for how they're able to tame dragons and stuff like that. So we'll see. And being a family member, I think that's important. I didn't think they would leave him out, but we'll get to that in a few. And then we're going to talk about a new prequel series. They're going to be starting to film soon, hopefully, or at least start casting and working on scripts. And a couple other things going on in that world. And then we're going to talk. We created one of the, what is that website? It is like Tier Maker, and we created
Hmm.
one for all the theories that are out there for Game of Thrones, and we're gonna rank them as top. The top one is, oh my god, we found out a release of the winter date is the best it could be. It is confirmed, or as bad as Game of Thrones season 8. So there's quite a few. Like there's worse. Game of Thrones season 8, Moon Door is the next one up. Tyrion pissing off the wall is third. Hold the Door level, fandom worthy level, where the fandom really loves it. And then top of the line, greatest theories, the Winds of Winter release date confirmed theories. So I hope I don't confuse people. There is no release date. We all know that. So, but we'll say hi to the chat over on YouTube first. We got Spencer says, let's go. And then he's like, where's my boys and Tina and maybe Jane and Lady G? And wow, we haven't had some people on in a while. Now that I think about it, oh my God, Teresa, I just blanked on her name. She used to do it with us all the time. She had the Elvish,
Lady
it was like,
Toriel.
oh, Tori. Oh my God. I haven't
Thank
talked
you.
to her in so long. Thank you. I feel so embarrassed. I hope she's doing all right. She's always welcome to join us. She's awesome. We also have Andy in the house. We have Zombie Box Reviews. Andy's a great dude. Has a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube, so make sure you guys check him out. We have Jim Donegan always showing his support, so I thank you. Little Chad is in the chat. I always appreciate that. Andy says, yeah, YouTube is taking some of my subs away, currently at 4.92K, so I'm close to hitting. Wow, you're going to pass me soon. 5K, man. Good for you. Share your chat or your link, buddy. Definitely share it. Little Chat says, you're going to talk about Gurm trolling all you guys, thinking he's actually writing a book. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to show that because I responded to it. I was actually nice in my response, but I am going to show that one probably first if I can find it again. And I think I bookmarked it, but I'll double check that. I got to give him credit. He did. That was a good troll moment, I believe, at least. I don't know. Did you guys see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, hold on. I'll find it right now.
Okay, wait for the rage to flow.
Yeah, you might get a little. You might get a little, like, because he definitely took a pop shot at everybody. Here it is. Hold on. I'll blow this up and then share it. I mean, it's him thinking he's funny. But with the type of fandom we are, I almost think it's like that was probably not your best bet. Some people would have found that cool, but others no. So this is the post he sent out. I'll blow it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. Or can I blow up that? Yeah, there we go. And it says, so on the top it says, what everyone thinks I'm doing all the day. And he's like playing with aliens. And then it goes down to do what I'm actually doing. And it shows him, I don't know, probably writing out checks and then just throwing them up in the air.
Okay, that's a real monitor, though.
Yeah, I was kind of confused by that. Because I know he still uses, unless he upgraded a little, I thought he still used that old system of his.
Yeah, I did too. Well,
Yeah.
but it is that older keyboard, which is easier to find because they actually make replicas of the older keyboards.
Right.
So it would be awesome.
But that's a
if you
real
would-
monitor.
Exactly.
I think that's a Samsung, actually, or Panasonic, something like that. You try to read the bottom of it. There's like people on the internet right now blowing up that monitor to see what's written on it and like all the papers
I'm
around them.
sure.
People do it all the time. Like, I'm shocked I haven't heard anything yet. I wish I knew how to like do that. I would try to read his paperwork and see what he's got going there. Cause he doesn't think. There's people that found like pages of, I want to say it was a Dance with Dragons before it came out, like a page of what he was writing. And it actually turned out it wasn't like a joke. It was an actual page. He just didn't realize it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty funny. But yeah, that's, I would have liked if he showed himself jumping on a trampoline and then this, but what are you going to do? That's George for you.
Wait, so is he trying to say that he's actually writing the book? Because it doesn't look like he's writing a book either.
No, that's what I said. It looks like he's either writing a check or just scribbling something, like.
Or maybe he's signing a book because it does.
It is a book.
Like
You're right. It is a book.
Yeah.
So he's signing books. Okay, so you're making money off of that. Like, come on, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he needs to be clearer with his trolls.
Yeah. You're right.
I did pick up a book of his that I read the first very short chapter, and I'm already quite intrigued. I believe it was one that Stieg brought up before, Fever Dream. It's George's vampire novel.
Right. Yeah, I wrote that one down. I've been meaning to check it out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I think I downloaded it on Audible. You couldn't. He said you couldn't get it on Audible, right?
Gotcha. Well, if you're interested in it, I'll ship it to you when I'm done because nobody else in the house will read Germ's books until he finishes Song of Ice and Fire. So
yeah,
I can't blame them. Chad says it might be a new monitor, but that keyboard is old as shiznit. He also put he spent 3 weeks of not writing, coming up with that tweet.
Darn right.
That's awesome.
And if you guys get inundated with my StreamYard, I'm testing out a new thing with Stream Elements, like Autobots, assemble. No, it's testing out, just sending out some information of ours, like our Rumble. because Aluminum Spork tomorrow night. I believe we're starting it tomorrow night. It will be a Rumble exclusive. So make sure you guys sign up on Rumble because, you know, YouTube doesn't like conspiracies and stuff. They actually really like overthink conspiracies to make you think it is a conspiracy. I don't know. It's a little weird how they like have destroyed people's channels over conspiracies.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. Whoa, Tevin Daniels, good morning from the island of Bermuda.
Ooh.
Is that where you're
how
from,
is that?
Tevin?
Jamaica.
Fantastic. We got Zach's in the house too, and One Man Show, always supporting the channel. Even when he doesn't watch the streams live, he watches them both on Rumble and YouTube, and then always leaves a message. So I really, really, really appreciate that. And I did, guys, last thing I'll talk about myself. I hate having to say, if you want to support the channel and you don't want to pay YouTube, which only gives me like 30% and lately every other month, you can support me directly through Stream Elements, which goes right into my PayPal. And I don't think they take much, if any. I don't really know how that works, because sometimes I'll get the full amount and other times I'll get a portion of it. So feel free to, yeah, it's weird. But feel free. So HBO, you gave me this one. I want to make sure I get the right one. It is, I believe, yeah, this one right here. So I found this article interesting. Dun, dun, dun. Is that Beauty and the Beast? Was that Beauty and the
It did
Beast?
sound like it was the beginning of.
Yeah, can I name that in like 2 tunes? 2 notes? Remember that show?
I am so sorry. It's my stupid.
Was that Beauty and the Beast?
Yes, it was.
I named that in like 2 notes. That's
Yeah.
hey,
Somebody's got some daughters, I think.
I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And there's certain
No.
songs you never forget.
I thought I turned it off and then it keeps going off. That's my ringtone.
It works. It works. It sounds all right. All right. So, little Chad, yes, that was Beauty and the Beast. So this is the Hollywood Reporter, and they're talking about several things coming back to HBO. The announcements. I like the end of this, Tina. But the article, but he starts off the announcements made by HBO chief Casey Bloys, during a press conference in New York on Thursday. So it does. They said that the acclaimed prequel House of the Dragon will air early, which we were thinking early summer 2024. We were thinking mid-July, I think we said, or July and August, because that's kind of where it aired a while ago. And it will consist of only 8 episodes. I thought, what was last one? 8 or 10?
I think it was 10.
Yeah, okay. I can't stand when they do that. Just stick to the same goddamn
Bastards.
thing. Yeah, bastards. So it will consist of 8 episodes, 2 fewer. Oh, there it goes. 2 fewer than the first. Dragon is well enough along to have a first trailer, which was screened for reporters, but under the condition that its contents are not publicly described. Just freaking put it out there then. If they can't talk about it.
What's the
That
point?
is so lame. That is so lame. All right. Then they talk about The Last of Us, and I barely watched. I think I watched an episode or 2 of that. Did anybody watch Last of Us?
No.
No, not my thing.
I don't.
Jim and one of the boys watched it, but I think he said he gave up a couple seasons ago. So
Yeah, well, it's only the first. This will be, I think, the second season. Probably only a couple episodes he got through, because like one of their episodes, they only had a few episodes, and then one of them, like the complete episode, was like just about like it's weird, like a guy, Pedro Pascal gets like supplies from. It was just his story, him and his partner's story of how they met and how they died. It was like, I don't know. I stopped right before that. It's just a throwaway episode, just to insert what they want to insert.
Yeah.
I was
didn't
surprised
watch
they
it.
watched. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Tina or Teresa. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to say I didn't watch it because of,
Yeah,
Oh.
all the stuff.
he has been far too douchey for me to give
Yes.
him my time of day.
Yeah.
Well, I
Pedro
was
Pascal
surprised that
really
the
has.
boys, like Jim and I think it was JD that
Mhm.
watched it because they didn't play the game, so I
Me
really
either.
didn't think them that they'd be interested in it. But
Right.
I think they were
Well,
just
see,
looking for something good because they used to watch The Walking Dead, but that they said got really redundant and boring for them. So
yeah, that's my wife watched the whole thing, but she said there were some good episodes. Like after Rick left, it kind of was but I think she also watches Fear of the Walking Dead. She loves like that world. She loves zombies and stuff, so go for it. But then we got some new news that my sources of mine have told me, the internet, that executives the executive also revealed the company's next Thrones prequel is a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight, which we have said on this channel many of times, an incomplete series also. It is not a complete series. He still has at least 2 more books to do. But it's not one of those series where it's kind of different. Like he could kind of end it anywhere, but he already like has them going north to Winterfell. So you would think there's definitely another book, and it's supposed to be called The She-Wolves of Winterfell. But anyways, they're going to hope to begin shooting this in the spring. While no casting has yet been announced because of the strike, it seems likely the company has some names in mind if they're looking to shoot that soon. Like they must have people on lockdown if they're going to shoot that soon.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I mean, if you're watching this, you'll probably know, but if you're new, it follows the novellas about Dunk and Egg, which Dunk is a commoner orphan who when he was taken on as an apprentice, as a squire by a knight. And when the knight passed away, he pretty much knighted himself, taking the man's armor and stuff. Yeah. So he knighted himself. And he meets a young boy named Egg who is kind of a little arrogant and this and that, but he takes him on. And lo and behold, by the end of the book, you find out he's actually Aegon Targaryen, 5th of his name. And I mean, I love those books. There's some interesting stuff with Bloodraven in a couple books. You get more information on the Blackfire Rebellion because it's just after that first or second one. You get some people that were blacks. You get some people that sided with the Reds, which are the Targaryens and not the Blackfires, who are a bastard line that were legitimatized. I can never say that by Aegon the Unworthy. But which always made me wonder if they were legitimized. Why did they take a different house name? But whatever. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. It's like 100 years before the main story, so I'm excited to see what they do with that. I mean, Dunk is like 7 feet tall. They're never going to get somebody who like Dunk might be tall and he is broad, but he's not like the mountain. He is a big guy, but he's also kind of boyish at the beginning, because he's young. So I wonder how they must be going with like 6. Did you say that, Tina? 6'4" they were saying?
I think, yeah, it was
Is that
6'2"
you?
or 6'4" was the minimum for the casting call. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. They always make people a little bit different. I mean,
Well, and a
the
lot of
new
actors are
Tox-
tiny anyways. They're small
Right.
people.
Right. I
Mhm.
mean, isn't like Tom Cruise like 5'5"?
I think so.
I think
He's
he
not
really
quite
is.
that. Is he really that short? I
Yeah, he's like
thought he was
5'5", 5'6".
okay. I think I had in my head that he was around 5'7" or 5'8", thinking that what's her face, the Aussie Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
that she was close to like 5'10".
Right. And she was a
Yeah,
little
she
bit
was.
taller than him.
He's 5'7" according to YouTube. I mean,
Oh,
according to Google,
is he
it says
that
yeah,
tall?
5'7".
So he
Yeah,
probably is 5'5" and wears lips,
yeah,
and then
There you are.
exactly.
Puts him in his cowboy boots.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought he was shorter than that, but that's awesome because I'd be above average height. I'm like 5'9". I'd look like a 6-footer in movies. That'd be awesome. And then they said no other Thrones prequel has been greenlit, which they said, but they're working on ideas. So it's kind of funny because you had Game of Thrones season 8, which I think had a big impact on what were they calling that other prequel? Something Moon. It was
Oh,
it
Oh yeah, something really ridiculous.
yeah, it
like
was a
Blood
dumb
Moon?
name.
Is it
What
Blood
was it?
Moon?
Blood Moon.
Blood
That's
Moon?
it.
Blood
And it was
Moon.
it was taking place in the era of Heroes, and they were gonna make land the Lannister, the first Lannister.
Oh,
They were
Land the
gonna make him like
Clever,
the
that guy?
yeah, Land the Clever. Thank you. They were gonna make him a woman, and like it was just so
Oh,
stupid what they were
jeez.
planning on doing, and they had some big names hooked to that. I forget. Oh God, she's an Aussie actress. Now that you said Aussie, I think she kind of was like in it with Daniel Craig in a movie, something cake.
Oh, I can picture her, but I can't think of her name.
Beautiful girl.
Hmm.
I just can't think of her name. Ah, crap. What is it? Anyways, so she was in it, but that got scrapped because I believe of season 8 being so bad. And then I was shocked House of the Dragon even got greenlit, but because George was involved, I think that's the only reason. And now that was a hit the first season, they want to make everything they already thought of. Robert's Rebellion as an animation, Dunk and Egg, a live action, which I didn't think they were going to do. They were going to do animation, but I'm glad they're doing live action. I think there was another one, the Blackfire Rebellions. They might go even back to that a little bit, and the Conquest with Aegon. So I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. We'll see. Free Folk of the Fandom, everybody, make sure you check out his channel. Great dude. I read George has 12 Dunkin' Eggs novels planned. That sounds about right. I mean, to do 12 would make sense because Egg is so young, and by the time the events, and I won't ruin it for people that don't know, but the time the events of Summerhall happen, he is a father, and I think some of his kids have children of their own. So, and that's like where I would think he would end it, because that's a lot of people that are fans of A Song of Ice and Fire want to know what happened at Summerhall. We only get like bits and pieces in like a burnt recording of what happened, so it'd be kind of cool to see that.
I wish Summerhall and Harrenhal didn't sound so much alike because I keep
A lot of
getting
people mess those
confused.
up. Yeah. Think of this is the easiest way to remember. Summerhall is like on the boundary of the Stormland, and like it's actually in Dorne. So
okay.
they built it like on the edge of Dorne when they were trying to make peace with them years prior. So I always think summer and Dorne is hot. So summer,
Okay,
summer.
yeah, Summer Dorn Stand. Yeah, okay, I can.
Yep.
Yeah, that will definitely help. Thank you.
It
Now, how
does.
far down the line of succession was Egg,
He was I
where
want to
they
say
just kind of let him run around run around the Seven Kingdoms
he was the
unguarded?
fifth son of the fifth son, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think it wasn't
Yeah.
like seventh son of the seven. I think he was the fifth child of the fifth son. So like his father was never supposed to be king.
Right.
And then all his brothers passed away and
Hmm.
other things happened. He becomes king, a pretty decent king. And then all Egg's brothers, except for Master Aemon, pass away. So, and Master Aemon, they say he passed over and said, no, I don't want it. I don't know what happened there. I think it's because, and we've talked about this, Stig and I, Master Aemon only passed it off. Yes, he took the black and he was a maester, but I don't even know if he took the black yet. I think he did. But I think he was more concerned of what was going to happen in the north because he was into prophecies he was deep into prophecies. We find out later on, and I think he was deep into them as a young man and knew of the Long Night, knew of the history of it. Maybe even knew Bloodraven was out there, so I don't know. I think that's why he stayed where he was. What's up, Darren? Good to see you, buddy. Evening all. Always love seeing Darren. Good man. And Adega Outlaw's here too. Adega, what's up, brother? Good to see you. None of the other Thrones prequels are close to greenlit. Brutal. Yeah, I know. It is. I mean, we could take that as a couple things. It could be, they're not close because of the strikes. Maybe.
Hmm.
We can go with that, right? I don't know.
Now, where are
But,
we supposed to think the Jon Snow
Oh
secret
yeah,
is.
Oh dear God, no.
I know.
I mean, are
What do
we
you
supposed to
what?
believe it's really happening, or that's just something they like to keep in our minds because everybody loves Kit Harington? And
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Well, it's not mentioned here at all. So
No,
Mm-mm.
no, it's not. I mean, that is a sequel, but still, you would think they would have brought up that has some big names attached to it. Even Kit Harington with the HBO world, he has a big name, so you
Mhm.
would think, oh, we got to talk about this. I don't know.
I think that if they're smart, they won't ever mention it ever again because they need for us to forget season 8. They
Amen.
have to.
Yeah,
And even House of the Dragons, I still think that they've been ridiculous that they tried to tie it in with the long night, like as it was in Game of Thrones,
Yep.
because it's like, why try to do that? Let's just pretend it never happened.
I wouldn't mind finding out that the dagger belonged to Viserys. Just like,
Mm.
oh, that's the origin of the dagger.
Yeah, but that's actually Aegon's, or even older. It was
Right.
passed down to them. But what? Okay, so the only thing that I mean, I could explain. I don't. Okay. No, as you two know, blood and fire and blood, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just gonna put the spoiler thing up for a minute. I'm gonna say a spoiler. Once it's down, we're back. So mute in 3, 2, 1. If you don't want House of the Dragons spoiled for you. 3, 2, 1. So the only way I could see this working, and the only way I'll approve of it by the end of this series, is if they brought it in at the beginning, but because of the deaths of so many Targaryens that have the kingly, lineage, like
Mhm.
right now, the only person that knows is Rihanna or Rihanna,
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra, and she said something to Damon, so he kind of knows, even though he choked her out for it. But like, let's say she does tell one of her sons, but people die. A lot of people die in this, so
Mhm.
it may die with her. You know what I mean? Like she knows, but who does she pass it on to? Like before she gets a chance when she dies, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah,
that's how
no,
they
that's
end it.
true.
Like then all they have is this knife, and maybe someone just passes it off as a gift to somebody else because they don't know what it means, or they put it in storage, and that's where Littlefinger ends up finding it.
Oh, gosh, you're right. I mean, because he
Yeah,
was the, what do you call it? In charge of
uh,
coin, whatever
yeah, he
that
was
title is.
right. So if it was in like
Master of
the
coin.
treasury, yeah.
Hmm.
So if it was in the treasury, maybe that's the only reason he had it.
Hmm.
Maybe
Makes
Still
sense.
That's the only reason.
ridiculous. They
It
still
is.
they
It
shouldn't have
is.
done it. They shouldn't have done it. No
Yeah.
one will be sitting there complaining, why didn't you tie it in with Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I did. That is the dumb part, and we're back. Spoilers done, but we are going to say that was the dumbest decision of the series because it stood on its own. It didn't need that connection to the series. It was doing fine
Hmm.
without it, and then all of a sudden you see the dagger, and then he gives her the long night rundown, and it's just like, come on, hey, are you now trying? And George has been trying to do this a little bit, rewrite history. That's
Hmm.
the reason Aegon conquered the Seven Kingdoms because he knew it was coming. Aegon conquered because he wanted to conquer. He wanted
Yeah.
a kingdom. That's how I always saw it. And he was very good at being political. And if you didn't,
Hmm.
he burned the crap out of you. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, he destroyed a lot of people. The reason Harrenhal is like turned into mostly like a pile of glass and rubble is because he took out Harrenhal and his kin. Right? It was
Hmm.
Harrenhal. It wasn't the black guy. What's his name? From the islands. It might have been. But anyways, Heron the Black. I think maybe it was. Yeah, Harrenhal, Heron the Black. He destroyed his whole family just because the dude made a comment like, no, not a million men can storm this castle. And he was like, well, you don't have to storm it. You can fly above it. And boom, burned them all. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. I got to give him that. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just always laughed in this series, like when Dany started burning people with her dragon, and they were all like, "She's going crazy." What do you expect dragons to do? Was she only just supposed to sit there and let them like look at people? You know, like she was meant to burn people so that others would be like, "I ain't rising up against her." You know, that's the whole idea
Exactly.
of dragons. Oh, that used to get me so. And then when she burnt the city, that threw it all away too. But she burnt the
Yeah, and that's
Lannister
what that's
thing.
another reason why I don't think they can do the Snow series. I mean, if George doesn't finish the books,
Right.
then I
Yeah.
mean, all you're doing is like borrowing more from the future that we not even sure is true.
Well, I mean, it's
Mhm.
past George's books. It's not even.
Right.
It's because George's world is, if it's a dream of spring, it's going to end after the long night, and then whatever mop up stuff he needs to do to figure out how the Westeros will be afterwards. Kind of like the
Hmm.
scoring, uh, scoring of the Shire. This whatever that
Scouring of Tyre.
scouring. I knew I was saying the wrong word. Thank you. Scouring of the Shire. I mean, that happened after like the big battle and destroying the ring, but you still had some political and little mop up stuff you had to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I did like this part. So it was down here. Boyles, Boyles. That's what I'm going to call him. Boyles also addressed this week's Rolling Stone report that he employed fake Twitter accounts to spar with TV critics in 2020, 2021. And he says, I'm home working from home, spending an unhealthy amount of time scrolling through Twitter, and I came up with a very, very dumb idea to vent my frustrations. Obviously, 6 tweets over a year and a half is not very effective, but I do apologize to people who were mentioned in the leaked email texts. Obviously, nobody wants to be part of a story that they had nothing to do it. But as many of you know, I have progressed over the past couple of years in using DM. So now when I take issue with something in a review or take issue with something, I DM many of you, and many of you are gracious enough to engage with me back and forth. So we got another executive like Kathleen Kennedy, but this
Mhm.
one actually took it upon himself to create a fake account and go after critics. Like these people are insane. Like
It happens more often than we know, apparently.
it really does.
Just crazy.
It just
I
shows
mean,
you the insanity, Tina, of like these executives that social media they're attacking fans and critics. It's dumb.
oh, absolutely agree. And that's the part that I mean, I remember even before I knew very much about Twitter. So this is going back quite a few years. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
want to say 7, 8 years,
Right.
where that was when Twitter was more for professional use. There were a lot of businesses had Twitter accounts. You tried to make yourself known in your industry through Twitter. A lot of what LinkedIn is now,
Right.
in the sense that
Right.
it's a website where you go to make connections to further your career. And I knew that there were people that were being hired as kind of what you used to call a publicist, but it was basically your job to go out and manage your social media. So
Okay.
they would
Yeah.
leak rumors out, just like they did back in old Hollywood, using those trade magazines and whatnot.
Right.
So I kind of understood that was a job, but the fact that just the average person would say, okay, I don't like what you wrote about my movies, so I'm gonna like open a fake account and start attacking you.
It is
I
kind of
mean,
weird, right?
if you want to question someone's, critique of your movie, your script, your, production, well, then just go out in the open and say, dude, I appreciate what you said here, and everybody has their own opinion, but here's
Right.
an answer to whatever the complaint was that the reviewer had.
Right. Right.
And
That
just
makes sense.
simple, it's a discussion or, dialogue.
Yeah. It is weird that it just goes to show you their I don't know. It's just their egos. Like they're so
Yeah.
fragile. They're so fragile. It, it's pathetic actually. To me it's pathetic. I mean, I know we're all human, I get it, but it is pretty damn pathetic That's what they do. Like they think like they have to do something to attack somebody who just, criticized them or, criticized the project they were working on. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah. Well, and maybe perhaps the reason why he did it with an alt is the reason why many people do things with alts is because they weren't being very charitable. They wanted to be a bunch of psychos and call people names. And you can't do that when you're a professional.
Right. That's true. And so they there was a basketball player who used to do it. Kevin Durant created fake accounts to attack people. It's like so childish, man. Like it really is to me. It's an ego thing. Your ego is just too fragile.
That's why I'm glad that texting was about all that was super popular when I got my kids their first phone around like 8 years old each. It wasn't anything fancy. It was a flip phone because I figured, well, I was working, going to school part-time at night. My husband was working full-time. I figured if the kids were anywhere, I wanted them to be able to call. I didn't want them to be dependent on daycare calling or babysitter calling, or if they're at a friend's house and they want to leave, but they're afraid to ask to use the phone. I just wanted them to be able to communicate. I was probably more of a helicopter mom than I thought.
A lot of people at that time were.
But we didn't, turn on texting or anything like that for them. And thank goodness they didn't have all these crazy TikTok and whatever apps that, I hear from the women in my neighborhood that have younger children, these girls are just vicious to each other.
Yeah.
They a bunch of them will gang up on one girl and decide. It's not just like, I'm going to pick on you for what you wore to school today. They terrorize each other. It's frightening.
They are terrifying.
We're seeing suicide. Deletions. Sorry.
Yes. It's fine.
I don't think I said the full word.
I'm sorry. It's a real word. YouTube, sorry. That's why we're on Rumble too, everybody. But we're not
promoting it. We're saying it's a terrible thing. But because, think about it. We've seen grown people. We've seen people our own age. And Sporking, I think we're kind of in the same age. We're not just adults. Yep. We've been adults for quite a while.
Yeah.
And you've seen them lose it, not being able to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about teenagers. We're talking about 15, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. They don't have the coping skills. And also, there's no empathy. The same thing. There's this concept that if it happens online, it's not hurtful, but we all know that's not true.
Well, and it's so much easier to hurt somebody online, even if you know them, because at that moment, they're not real. They're not in front of your face. You don't have to worry about their reaction. So it's a blank slate of just, I'm going to attack you and I don't care because I don't see you cry. I don't see you throw a punch. I don't, you know what I mean? Like there's no consequence at that moment in front of the person. So they're able to attack easier. Like I personally think it's scary because, every little kid wants to be on social media, but it's dangerous. It really is dangerous. And it's something that's hard as a parent to keep tabs on. Like Facebook, and they do have certain things where you have like kid profiles, but at a certain point, they're going to realize how to make their own profiles without you knowing. And it's terrifying to think, everybody tries to show a fake version of themselves on there. Like every picture of your family is like the minute before and the minute after is hectic, but that moment was perfect. Like it's just not true. They're not true pictures. That's why I try to put true things on. Like I couldn't finish, like on my last Instagram reel, it was me showing this stupid swing set thing I'm trying to build, kids craft or something, and I got maybe after 4 hours an eighth of it done. That's truth. Not fast forward me, showing that it's really easy to put up. Hey, you can do it too. No, it sucked. I'm never gonna finish this damn thing. I worry about my kids with social media and stuff like that. But you're a grown man. You're a CEO, executive of HBO. Like, show a little more class. You take classes, people. Don't use your own social media. Have somebody else do it. Like, because at that point, you're not the one who should be responding anyways. Because anger comes out.
Exactly.
But also, didn't it also come out with some of these companies, though, that the reason why they also want to use alts is to give the illusion that there is more support for them than there actually is.
Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, it's the truth. And it's not them, it's their fans supporting them going after you. It's so lame. So lame. Just found this though, that one of the ones you sent me, Tina. So they're talking about prequels and stuff. The Jon Snow series, sequel series in June 2022. They announced it. It's been that long. Following the end of Game of Thrones and his necessary betrayal and murder of Dany and resulting banishment beyond the wall. Given his own Targaryen lineage and the general feeling that under the Seven Kingdoms' more monarchy-driven system, he should have been king, there's plenty to explore around his bittersweet send-off beyond the wall. There's scope to bring other beloved Starks back into the fold, perhaps once Arya works out what's west of Westeros, which was dumb, and a clear opportunity to provide more Tormund Giantsbane content. He was great, given that he's a central figure in Jon Snow's band of wildling comrades. So let's just say they do play on this lineage thing. He would literally have to go through the North, and his sister, who really doesn't love him that much and kind of doesn't really think of him as a brother, is, Sansa. And even if he says like, I'm leaving the North alone, I want the Six Kingdoms, she wouldn't trust him because she had Littlefinger in her life for so long and lived in the, in the capital for so many years, being abused. Like, I could just see her being like, okay, that's great, kill him.
Exactly.
And actually, that would make me like TV Arya. Yeah. Oh, not Arya, rather Sansa.
Sansa.
TV Sansa sucked. Yeah. Well, and I love the way that these things are so shilly. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be so interesting? There's so much to explore, like his Targaryen heritage, which doesn't mean anything, and well, he has that friend we love Tormund, so we'll just see them hanging around Iceland and doing what?
Pretty much. Like, what are they going to do? Bring the wildlings together, Tina? I don't know.
That's one of the things I had read. I think I read a really short, lame article that was, the 5 possible storylines for the Jon Snow spinoff, and one of them, was that yes, he decides to go and defeat. We find out Bran is a bad guy, and he joins up with Sansa, and they try to take the Seven Kingdoms, which I thought didn't make a lot of sense. Another one was
more
that
like fan art, fan
exactly.
I mean,
and another one said something about him being the king beyond the wall.
There's only like you mean like 3/4 of the wall, or like more than that, but there's a big chunk falling down.
Exactly.
So I don't know. What I could think of is like, it almost sounds like all the bitching we did after the end of the series, and a lot of us always thinking that Bran's going to be used by Bloodraven or the Great Other, and it will be like he's a puppet. Like, once he truly connects with the trees, Bran is gone, and he's no longer, like, he'll be used to take over Westeros. But that, I can't imagine them going that route. And then, does George have any input in, like, they bought all the rights? Like, does he have any say in what happens? I don't know.
You're right. I don't know what they would do either. I mean, especially too, if George doesn't tell them, hey, this is what all these symbols from beyond the wall meant, and this was the true origin of the others, or instead of the others, here's who the real big bad is north of the wall, and maybe it is, whoever Bloodraven serves. Yep. But unless George gives them that whole backstory, anything that they make up that doesn't gel with the last 2 books, isn't going to be received well by the fandom.
Yeah, well, that means we get the last 2 books.
That is.
I think we're going to get the Winds of Winter next year. I have a good feeling.
Sorry,
Christmas next year.
I'm mean.
Stop it. Christmas next year, I will be reading The Winds of Winter. And I'm gonna do a video, and it's just gonna be laughing at people like you and Gary and everybody else. And me and Jane Theory are gonna be happy.
I mean, honestly, that would be the best I think that would seriously be the best thing for him to do, is kind of, because he can really use the excuse of, see, I was working hard during,
Yeah.
the horrible shut-in that we had a couple years ago, and I really did do some work, I
Right.
swear.
Right. This was me. I promise you. It'd be cool. It'd be, oh my God, I would forgive him for a lot if I even get just one more book, even though I would probably freak out after a while. So that's a lie. But I don't know, like getting that one more book just to see where certain things are going to lead. I just be so many theories and, stuff we talk about. I just want to freaking see how it ends. See if we got him right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So mad.
Well, we'll always have the AI version.
Yeah, we will. I do have it. I have it. One of these days, I'm gonna start reading it very soon, and I'm gonna do videos on it. Hopefully, we'll see.
What if that turns out to be better than the actual book if it comes out?
And you never know. I mean, shit. No. I can't imagine it being better, but you never know. So let's see. HBO has finished filming the second season of House of the Dragon. All there to do now is wait. Not just kidding. Between now and the premiere days, we're talking about everything. Today we had something unsettling to report. According to House of the Dragons fan account, House the Dragons on Twitter, a pair of important characters are going to be left out. So this is spoiler, fire and blood again. If you haven't read it, but if they're going to be left out, most likely, it doesn't matter. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. So they claim that they heard from inside sources that neither Daeron Targaryen or Nettles, the dragon seed, will appear in House of the Dragon season 2. Now, I swore I heard reports from either I think it's Dan Conlon, the showrunner, or somebody after the season, because everybody was asking about Daeron. He made a comment that he will be in the series next season, and that they plan to make it seem like he was in Old Town with his uncle, studying or doing something. He is the third son, the youngest son of King Viserys and Alicent. Right. And,
maybe they'll use the excuse that, well, there's a civil war going on. We want to keep one of the princes out of town under guard somewhere else. I mean,
right. I think it sounds reasonable to me,
but I don't think he can be out of the series for good. I could see maybe, like, depending on how quickly they pace through these battles, I could see him maybe not being there for one more season. But I think they need to start bringing him up often, though.
Yeah.
Just
remember your brother, hey, he was a funny guy, right?
Yeah. We haven't seen him ever, but you know him. We just kept him in Old Town just in case. He's a spare.
Alicent gets a report card,
yeah, every once in a while. Yeah. So there's a ton of people we're waiting on too. There's Hugh Hammer, Ulf the White, Adam Hall, and Nettles. They're all considered dragon seeds. Dragon seeds are common-born people most likely without Targaryen blood. They believe. Some are okay. My bad. They're either bastards or somewhere down the line they have Targaryen blood. Mm-hmm. They believe. They can't prove all 4 of them are bastards. But somewhere they believe that in their lineage there was some type of blood. But Nettle's a really cool one. And they write it right here. Nettle is unique in the way she literally just a girl who's clever and brave enough to tame a dragon. Sheep stealer, which is a cool dragon. She pretty much just kept feeding it, and she pretty much tamed it by feeding it. And if I remember correctly, that's how it was. She just kept feeding it, and finally got close enough to be able to touch them, and then at some point was close enough to get on top of them, and was able to actually tame the dragon and be able to fly it. And it's a big she has a big role in this, in how this civil war like shifts. So it's kind of important, you would think, but they did identify a couple of them. So Clinton Liberty is playing Adam Hall, Tom Bennett, Ulf the White, and Warrior Star Kieran Bow is playing Hugh Hammer. But we have not heard anything about Nettle, which is kind of sucks because it's an interesting, cool character. She's young, she's ethnic, she's dark skinned. I guess that's maybe wrong of me to ethnic, but you know, she has darker skin tones, and like, you know, why not bring her on? Are they being racist? I don't know.
I think there's no way in hell that they will not have Nettles. She is too integral to the plot.
Yep.
If they don't bring her in season 2, that could be to where they're putting everything together. Maybe they're having certain events happen a bit later.
Yeah.
Or maybe people just they have chosen not to announce it yet. Sometimes they do keep these things pretty seriously under wrap. But you cannot have this story without Nettles, period.
Right. But see, I thought this was, people said this was a real picture. And that would be her right there. So I don't know. You know, I don't understand.
Unless it is her and they're trying to be coy and say it's not her, or you all don't know yet, and then be like, actually, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they don't want to bring in the possibility that, or, you know, maybe they don't want to bring in the storyline of Daemon having a relationship with Nettles? So maybe they're just having her be a different character?
I don't know.
Oh, that would.
But it's a big deal, that relationship. That relationship's a huge deal.
Yeah. And unless they're holding off on her, because they want to keep Daemon the way he is, the way we saw him with Rhaenyra in the first season, and they'll have it happen at the end when it's very clear that everything's gone to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that making sense, because maybe they don't want her to, and she is, if she really did just tame the dragon and she doesn't have Targaryen blood in her, so then that would almost be a separate story from the other 3 dragon seeds. And so maybe that they can say, hey, you know, all of this stuff was going on when we kept, you know, pretending to see if all these Targaryens could ride these dragons, and they keep getting eaten. And then we got our 3 dragon riders and we're happy. And then all of a sudden, just one day, some adolescent girl shows up with another dragon going, hey, look at me.
Yeah. That would be kind of, I do, you know, this was from Not a Blog, when he was talking about, he wished they explored, you know, more of the relationship with Rhaenyra and Sir Harwin, the marriage between Daemon and Lyanna and their time in Pentos. Like, and we've said that they rushed season 1 so much. Like, there was so much content they could have built from, but they had to get to where they were to keep people, I think, involved. I don't know. But maybe. You know, he is in the book. He is in Old Town. He's fostered there. But it's like, you would have to say he's been there since birth, because we've never seen him. So I don't know. But Nettle is, like you said, I really enjoy Nettle. I think Nettle is a cool character. You know, the 4 dragon seeds are pretty cool. But we'll see. I don't know. I thought the picture was there. I guess maybe, like you guys said, they're holding off. I don't know.
Well, there is a picture, but it's not confirmed.
Right, that's true. And they announced the actors. So HBO, it says, although HBO hasn't announced it, fans have managed to ferret out some of the identities. So this is fan identities. Now, are these 3 that they said, Clinton, Tom, and Kieran Bow, are they there? You know, are those 3 people? I don't know. Because if they're the 3 guys there, then that would be probably a legit picture. But the guy from,
and maybe they just haven't figured out who the other woman is, the third from the left.
Well,
so maybe
they said they don't know the actress, and people said that. Where was it? We even heard about minor would-be Dragon Seed castings, but haven't heard of anyone playing it. That said, this picture, blah, 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 Dragon Seeds leaked a while back, and there's definitely someone who appears to match Nettles, described from the book, standing next to, we think, Hugh Hammer in Fire and Blood. But Martin describes, okay, but they weren't able to, like, figure out who this actress was.
Yeah, there's a lot of may or could.
Yes. Yeah.
In all of that.
Yeah, you're right.
Nothing's for certain.
Everybody has sources, right?
Oh, yeah, sources.
sources. I don't know. We'll see. If they leave out Darren, that'll suck. Even though he wasn't in season 1, it'd be nice to have him in it. But to me, the 4 dragon seeds are interesting characters. How they were able to tame their dragons. They add, there's like 22 dragons. So why can't we see them all? And that takes away 4 of them. So that would be kind of shitty. I don't know. We'll see.
And I'm scrolling through IMDb right now, and I don't really see, with the exception of someone who supposedly is playing a young Prince Joffrey Valerian, none of the season 2024 actors have names. They're just soldier, high tower lender kind of.
Right. So they might be hiding it. Maybe. They were. I'm pretty sure they were Milk Brothers. They were born at the same time. Darren and Jace, uncle and nephew, were the same age. And then the rumor is that one of Daemon's twins will replace Nettle. Okay.
Oh.
That kind of sucks.
No.
The one that was like, someday you'll have a dragon, honey. Yeah, it's gonna be her. It's gonna be her.
No. Oh,
Dumb.
hell. Oh, no.
That's dumb.
But I'll tell you what.
If
they're going with the pattern of the first season being decent to drag everyone in, and then it all just going straight to hell after season 2, fine, do that, you fuckers, because then it'll be done. It'll be over. We would have been all excited for a whole season for nothing because they fucked it up.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
But I don't put it past Hollywood. No,
I don't either.
No. Or even a studio suit going, wouldn't this be cool?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to end up. I can't stand it. Oh, please don't ruin this show. Because I really was surprised how much I enjoyed, and it was a lot of Viserys. Patty, I forget his full name, but he was unbelievable as King Viserys. He was just fantastic in that role. Like when he was crippled and in pain, like I felt the pain. Like he just did such a good job.
And Matt Smith is Daemon.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
He does a great job.
Oh, unbelievable!
I mean, he looks like him in like. There's one picture of Daemon with the gold cloaks, and at one of those first episodes, it looked just like the painting. Like it was the picture. He played the role really well. He had that snarky, playful attitude, right to I'll kill everybody attitude. He was really good at it. It would suck not to see he's going to carry it, because I'm trying to think and Rhaenyra was really good too. I didn't care for the actress at first when I heard it was going to be her, but she did an amazing job. The 2 young versions were great.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. We just need to get to know her a little bit better in her older form.
Yeah.
I think that's kicking off, leading straight from that scene where she's looking at the camera at the end, just murder on her face, go straight from there. She can come into her own.
Yeah, it'll be pretty dope.
This will write itself if they stick to the plan.
Over on Rumble, one man show on Rumble says, disappointment has become my default on just about every new film series. Film and series.
True. Well, you've earned it. We've earned our cynicism.
We have. And people that are like, you guys automatically hate everything. No, we're just prepared now. Like, I'm prepared not to be happy by stuff. And then like House of the Dragon, I was prepared for it not to be good because I didn't want to get my hopes up. And then I was surprised, and I was happy to see that. And that's just how it went. I'm happy they did it. But yeah, we're not cynical about it. We're honest. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But
well, even saying what I've just said, I did enjoy it. I still don't think it was a 10 out of 10
No.
first season. I think it had a lot of flaws. It could only get better or it could get worse.
Yep.
But it was not perfect. I gave it, I think, a 7 out of 10 when I
think
saw
I
it.
was
I gave it
somewhere
a C.
around there. I think I was like a 7.5. Because, you know, like there was things that really upset me, like that they added the whole long night and the knife thing really pissed me off. The idea that they had a weirwood tree in King's Landing, like there is no weirwood tree in King's Landing.
Yeah,
like
no
that's
way in
just
hell.
not there isn't one. You know, everything south of the neck except for maybe like one or two have been cut down by the first men. So like to have something there, it just never was. And we know that from the main series because Sansa, the heart tree was like an oak tree or something like that, you know, and she would pray in front of that. But it like the idea they put that in just to show us a weirwood tree. Like, come on. You didn't need to do that.
Are we to assume that they built the Red Keep around this weirwood tree?
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
Pretty much. That's how they put it. And it was like in an area that wasn't even like this, like the Godswood in King's Landing is pretty big. And like that had like buildings right next to it and a wall. Like it was.
It looked like it's just a little garden, like a tiny little.
Yeah, and it literally is like acres. You know the size of it. It's acres. Like it was just dumb. And there was other decisions how they jumped ahead of stuff. And I'm still, you know, it's call me what you want, but the idea of the Valerian family being black was just like Valerians are golden haired, platinum hair, violet, purple eyes, tall, beautiful, elf-like beings that were white. I'm sorry they were white. You know, that's just how he wrote them. But because they never, you know, said what his mother looked like, she could easily have been from the Summer Islands. And that's how they, you know, people try to play it off. It's like, no, change the Harrenhal. I don't know. Somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, not killing Rhaenyra's first husband.
Oh my God, that really pissed me off.
That totally
changes everything.
Well, it makes their marriage invalid.
Yep.
It makes the children illegitimate. It makes the heir to the throne illegitimate.
Yep. And if they get caught, if that comes out, like let's say, you know, there's so much that can happen there. Oh, he gets caught and they torture and question him and he says that the children aren't his, or any of Damien and, like you just said, Rhaenyra and Damien's kids are bastards, and you know it's just everybody's bastards. It's just the idea, and then who's supposed to come back? That's a big part of Fire and Blood. You can't do that now. I don't know.
Darn right.
Darn right. One Man Show says just throw a decimal point in front of your rating number, and it will accurately reflect my general impression. Each their own, my man. Each their own. That's great. All right. Well, we're done with news and stuff. I mean, like hearing stomping upstairs. We're done with news and stuff. So we're going to go to the theory wall. Because I have to get up super early. So we're going to do like this for about a half hour or so and see where we get. Even though we kind of did it a few months ago. Wasn't that, Tina? We started it, but I said we'd start fresh. So what this is there's a whole list of A Song of Ice and Fire theories in here. And I think they all really kind of fit in the Robert's Rebellion up to present, like, era. And you got, like I said, the worst score you can get is Game of Thrones Season 8. And the best score it can get is The Winds of Winter release date confirmed. So we will go through them and I'll explain what they are if people don't know what they are. So I'm going to always put them in the middle somewhere as we talk about them so they're out kind of. So this is Jojen paste. And the idea of in the most recent book, Dance with Dragons, Jojen led Bran to Bloodraven to his cave, and then he kind of, once he leads him there, like the whole time he's very purposeful, knows what he's doing, always has an answer. And the minute they get to the cave, it's almost like he loses his green seer ability and becomes like a weak, scared little kid. And he's sickly and this and that. And there's a portion where you just don't see him. And we don't know what happens to him. He's like, it seems like he gets taken away to get taken care of or something. But he's gone. And a lot of people, there's this, while Bran's doing his green seeing training with the trees, he's getting fed this, it's supposed to be weirwood paste. So it's a white paste with like, it looks red streaks through it. And people, it looks like blood. And when you eat this paste, it makes you sick at first. It makes you think gross things. And then all of a sudden it starts making you think of like the sweetest things you've ever had. It has, and it's like the tree that, the drink that Danny drinks in, is it Danny that drinks it? I think so. In the House of the Undying is from, oh God, what is that called? It makes your lips purple. Shade of the Evening. It has the same description of how it feels when you eat it. So it's like almost like a psychedelic thing. Well, a lot of people think that Jojen was killed because he's a green seer and his blood is added to this to give Bran's green seeing abilities even a boost. So that's a big theory in the fandom. I think it's a medium theory. I don't know. I really don't know what to think of that one. It could be that it happened, but I don't really care. So I always put it like where it is, the hold the door area. Like it's a middle one for me. It is kind of fan worthy, but I don't know.
They didn't mention anywhere at all in the books about them ever doing something like that. Like you could increase your ability to as a green seer by doing X, Y, or Z. It was just It's in your blood. You can do it or not.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's something that you like. We find that in stressful times and in darkness, it appears, it actually surfaces. Like Dan, with Bran, he was he was unconscious from the fall, and it kind of he was able to strengthen it. And like his brother, I think, I don't know if anybody ever talks about this, but I think Rickon might be a green seer of some in sorts, because he had a dream of his father being in the crypts.
That's right.
You know, and that's Bran also had that same dream, and he spends a lot of time in the darkness of the crypts when he's young. So I think Rickon's a green seer too, and his came out through that. Arya's got her warging ability got better when she was blinded. She was forced to use a cat's eyes. So like a lot of this stuff happens in the dark. So, but we've never heard anything about a paste or something like that, like you said, giving them extra strength. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So is that a good hold the door area?
I think medium is right. I think that's a good place for it.
Yeah. All right. Teresa, you good with that? These are kind of stuff you're not at yet, huh?
Yeah, so I'll just say yes.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah. You've heard of R plus L equals J, though. That's Rhaegar plus Lyanna Stark equals Jon Snow. So that's a big theory that people think is confirmed. I still think there's a chance it's not, but most likely it is, right? So it's probably like top of the line one that's pretty much proven, so it's confirmed. So we really don't have to spend time on that one. I do like the next one. So we get the pink letter, which is a big part of the books. The pink letter is a letter written to Jon Snow. It supposedly was from Ramsay Bolton, and I'll actually find it and read it because it's the purpose of reading it's kind of important. The pink letter, but it's signed by Ramsay, and here we go. Here it is. It reads this. Jon Snow gets this at Castle Black. It has a pink seal of wax. It's addressed to Bastard, and it has sealed with pink sealing wax, House Bolton. And it says, "Your false king is dead, Bastard. He and all his hosts were smashed in 7 days of battle. I have his magic sword. Tell his red whore, your false king's friends are dead, their heads upon the walls of Winterfell. Come see them, Bastard. Your false king lied, and so did you. You told the world you burned the king beyond the wall. Instead, you sent him to Winterfell to steal my bride from me. I have," which is Mance Rayder, "I will have my bride back. If you want Mance Rayder back, come and get him. I have him in a cage for all the North to see. Proof of your lies. The cage is cold, but I have made him a warm cloak from the skins of the 6 whores who came with him to Winterfell. I want my bride back. I want the false king's queen. I want his daughter and his red witch. I want this wildling princess. I want his little prince, the wildling babe, and I want my reek. Send them to me, Bastard, and I will not trouble you or your black crows. Keep them from me, and I will cut out your bastard's heart and eat it. Ramsay Bolton, true lord of Winterfell." There's some skeptical things in it, but Jon believes it. Jon believes it, and that's pretty much why Jon got murdered. You know, he said, "I'm leaving for Winterfell. I'm going to fight him," and they thought that was him, advocating his role as a brother, and that's why they mutinied against him. There's some things like he just says, "And I want my reek." Like, Jon would have no clue what a reek is.
Right.
Mance Rayder, as of right now in the book, is still alive, and no one knows who he is down in Winterfell. So that's kind of a big thing. And there's a couple other like ways he says things. Ramsay wouldn't say, like, "I won't trouble your black crows." Not many people refer to them like that in the North. They're more respectful. So like black crows is something someone from the wildlings would say, but not from the South, considered the South, from the Seven Kingdoms. And it's also, they keep talking a lot about how Ramsay signs things, and it's not like it doesn't seem like his signature. Like there's 2 other points in the book where they talk about like the way his signature looks. And then when they kind of talk about it in here, it doesn't look like that signature. I don't know. There's a couple other reasons, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But we also know that Stannis is still alive. So unless these chapters are way more ahead of where Stannis and Winterfell are, I don't know. It's kind of confusing. So yeah, a lot of people think somebody else wrote it. A lot of people I think Stig thinks Stannis and Mance wrote it together. They're kind of working together. I could see that. Other people think, who else? Just Mance or just Stannis. There's one other person, and then others thinks it was just Ramsay. But that it's a big one, the Mance one. So I actually usually put that somewhere in the middle too, because we don't know, but it is a good theory.
So we're thinking that the purpose of the pink letter is to get Jon to leave the Night's Watch and come,
yes,
and provoke him to come to Winterfell. So
which Stannis really
it does
wants.
which makes sense.
Yeah. And Mance Rayder, he met with Stannis for like a few days, and then we're made to think that Melisandre kills the Lord of Bones looking like Mance to save him for her own reasoning, but it could have just been on Stannis's orders. So that's a good middle one. All right, we're gonna grab a rent. Do you think Theon Ramsay did cut off Theon's thingamabobber? It's kind of implied.
I think that he would, especially if he didn't want him to. I mean, that was just another part of taking your identity away.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, in the show, it definitely makes it seem like he does. But in the book, it's kind of implied, and I think so too. I think his manhood is gone. He cut off his fingers and toes. Why not cut off his sausage? That's a Tyrion pissing off the wall, though. It's one of those like, who cares? Really, who cares? I do like Sir Pounce's Azor Ahai. That's Tommen's cat, the King Tommen's cat. And there's reasoning behind it, but I don't know why. I've never read the theory, so I don't know. So I'm not going to say it's season 8, but it's definitely Moondor for me. I like this one. Do you think Dany will go mad in the book?
I think it's possible, but not as quickly as it happened in the series.
Right.
And for a better reason than hearing a few stupid bells.
Right.
If we're correct about the theory that she's really dead already, isn't that kind of itself a form of madness?
Yes. For people who haven't watched our streams, we have a theory that Dany died in that pyre and was resurrected because of blood sacrifice as a fire white. Mary Mazdul was burnt. Her unborn son was burnt. And so was Drogo. Drogo. I always mess up the
The
actual
dragon.
Yeah, and him. So that's 3, but 3 dragons were birthed. But some people think she was a sacrifice to then create a fire white because, there's a lot of people said before she just wanted to live a easy life as a Khaleesi. And after the fire, she was determined to go back to the 7 kingdoms no matter what. But, I mean, really, the death of her husband and the idea of her having to go back to the Mother of the Mountain and be one of the old hags. And I think that's what really got her fire going, and also the death of her brother and knowing that he was weak and she's strong. But if she goes mad, like you said, they're going to have a way better reason than Bells, because Bells to her is Dothraki victory, so that wouldn't get her. And I don't think she'll destroy the city. Like, if anything, she'll destroy the Red Keep and anybody in it. Mm-hmm. She's a freaking dragon rider. Of course she is going to destroy things. But the small folk, I just don't see it.
Yeah. Well, and she wouldn't destroy things for no reason. It's already won. This is her kingdom. This is her capital city, the city of her people. Right. So, I'll just burn it all down for no reason whatsoever. That's just completely
right.
It's not even madness. It's just stupidity.
Like we've talked about last ditch effort of Cersei is setting off all the hidden caches of wildfire that the Mad King had, and people blaming Dany for that. Mm-hmm. And maybe her starting to, well, if you're going to think I'm this villain, then I will be this villain, type thing. But I can't see her doing what she did in season 7 or 8. It's just dumb.
Do you think finding out that either Aegon Targaryen exists would bother her in terms of, would she consider it a threat to her claim to the throne, or would she be like, cool, I didn't have a sibling or relative to marry, so I have a potential mate now?
Right.
Because I've heard some people saying that she would find it as a threat and that she would get very suspicious.
Oh, I think she'll see Aegon as a massive threat. Like, she will not see it as him trying to do this for them. She wants to be the ruler. She will not share it. And as a male, he would be the king. Right. No matter, so, and her believing that that's her little brother, nephew, I just don't think she would after everything that's happened. So, yeah, but I still don't see her burning the small folk. That's the
right.
Big
Agreed.
Thing. Yeah.
Agreed.
Cam's Crash Course. Awesome to see you. says the pink letter, pink equals like red herring. It's a red herring. So it's really not what it's supposed to be, So it's all the phrasing in it too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's always good to see you. And then Free Folk of the Fandom says the Dragon Demands did research into season 8, and the original script had green fire spewing up. Oh, did he really? Through the city. Oh, so that makes sense. Danny can't inherit if there's a male heir. Right. So he's a dead man. He's definitely, Aegon's a dead man, even if he's related to her or not. So yeah, I don't like that one. I'd put that kind of low.
I would agree.
Is that Game of Thrones season 8? I want to say it is the way they did it, but
I mean, her going mad, I think, is a possibility. Her burning King's Landing, I don't think is a possibility.
Well, I don't even think. Oh, hi, Mama. I don't think she'll be considered. I think she's going to do things that people will say she's going mad.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, let's see. What else do we have? We'll pick something different. So we'll go right with this one then. Is Aegon Fagon? Is he a Blackfire? There's a lot of good proof to that. So after the last Blackfire rebellion, the male line was supposed to be killed off. The Blackfires were legitimized. Daron, one of the Darons, I believe, the first, I think, was he looked more Dornish as a Targaryen king, but his half brother, who was a legitimized bastard, was Daemon Blackfire, who looked just like a Targaryen prince, and a lot of people started backing him, causing the Blackfire rebellions. There was I think 5 of them, and after they were defeated, we always heard the male line was killed off, but we never heard about the female side. So a lot of people think that Illyrio and Varys set this plan up with Illyrio's wife, I think her name was Sarah, being a descendant of the Blackfires, and that's why their child they're calling Aegon, and they're trying to pass him off as a Targaryen.
Gotcha.
Having John Connington Beckham is a big step because he was Rhaegar's best friend, and he was Hand of the King at one point. So like of the target for the Mad King, so that will legitimize that. But he's probably a Blackfire. I just think it would be much cooler if he wasn't. But Danny treats him as one and kills him. Yeah, I don't know.
I more believe that he's a Blackfire than I believe that he's really Aegon Targaryen.
Varys had this sense he's a coward in the first part. He never wants to get involved, but yet he took the baby, changed it with some random lowborn child that gets killed, and then sweeps this kid out of the city during a battle in the city and was able to save him. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But yeah, so that's definitely fandom worthy. Probably Dustin wrote that. Let's see where we got. Will Tyrion be the Valancourt? However you say that. Will he kill Cersei? Valancourt is the little brother. So she had
I don't know if he will, but I really want him to.
Right. A lot of people think it's going to be actually Jaime. So in the prophecy, or the prophecy for Maggie the Frog, there's a part where she'll be choked to death by the Valancourt. So she just always, her whole life has assumed it's going to be Tyrion. I don't think he's going to be it. I think it could be a little brother, a little sister. Does it have to be hers? I don't know. So that's always a middle one for me because I don't know. It's a decent
I'd
theory.
almost rather see Arya kill kill Cersei as opposed to the fact that they had her kill, you know, the Night King or whatever. I think if she's
Right.
going to do some big shot, you know, murder
Yeah.
in the books, Cersei would be the awesome
Oh yeah.
one to have her take
I mean,
revenge
she
on.
blames Cersei for her father's death. So
It would bring her story full circle and far
Yep.
better than her being killed by a brick.
yes, I'm with you on that.
I am
true.
I am team knife.
I'm with you on that. I like this theory. It's a sad one though. After his death, Robb warged into Grey Wind, and then Grey Wind was murdered. And the proof of that, people say, is they believe Jon's going to be resurrected, and Jon jumped into Ghost. He warged. It's a second life, they call it. And a lot of times, when a warg dies, they jump into one of their animals and try to share that life with them. So when Jon died, the last thing he said was Ghost. And when Robb died, the last word he said was Grey Wind. So a lot of people think he jumped into Grey Wind, and then Grey Wind, because he was locked up, was murdered. So it's a sad one. I think that's definitely a mid one, though, because we can't prove it.
Right.
No one could, there's no way of proving it unless George says something. Okay. All right. Hold on one second.
Yeah, well, I'm just so devastated that the Grey Direwolf was killed anyways, because it's not his fault, let alone if it was
right
spirit of.
That's so sad.
Exactly. Maybe the whole idea is the fact that they figured that, I mean, the only choice they had was to kill Grey Wind because he would have attacked anybody who came, whether to free him or do anything to him, because he had to know that something happened to Robb.
Right.
So he would have been almost impossible to come near, whether friend or foe, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it could have happened. It's just one of those where you can't prove it unless George tells you. So it's a good one.
Right.
It's a sad one. I like it. I like this one too. Sam is actually the main character of the book. He's writing the book. He is writing this story. We're going to find out it's like a chronicle of what happened. And that the main character is Sam. I almost said Sam Gamgee. Yeah. I think Sam's a huge character in the book. I don't know if he is the main character. I really don't know if there really is one main character, but there will be some type of there and back again moment, a Hobbit's Tale type thing. I think Sam will be someone who chronicles what happened, but I don't think he's the main character. I don't know about if that makes sense to you guys.
Oh, Vanessa Lore's in the chat, and she has a comment on
cool.
Daeron from earlier.
Okay. And what does that say?
She says, regarding Daeron, I think it means they're not doing a certain battle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh no.
He needs to be in it. Yeah, we need all of those battles. They're all important.
Those battles are badass.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
For fuck's sake, I'm good.
Oh.
Now I'm mad again.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. Let's stay away from it. Let's see. This is kind of one I think everybody kind of already knows. Robert Strong is the Mountain. The Mountain dies after his battle with the Red Viper. Even though he wins, he was poisoned by the Red Viper. And many people think that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Cersei has a new Kingsguard, and his name is Robert Strong. The Strong line, which you know from now. Do they talk about it? Or was that before Dance with the Dragons? The Strongs. Well, there was a Strong in the Kingsguard who, I think he gets castrated and sent to the wall because they find out he has all these bastards after taking the oath.
Okay.
Yeah, the Strongs were a big part of they were becoming a big house, and then that happened. So she uses that name like he's like a missing descendant or something. But a lot of people think it's Robert, or the Mountain with Robert's head or Robb's head on it.
Ooh.
Weird. Yeah. Because the head of the mountain was sent boiled and stripped down to the bone to Dorne to show proof that he was dead for the murder of
Elia.
Elia and her kids. Yeah, so
it just seems weird that they would send them a skull, because other than the fact that it's a great big skull, how would you be able to prove that that was actually?
And you have a valid point. I don't think there's many people the size of the mountain though that you can find a skull.
I guess that's true.
That's the only reason. Like, I think that may be true. He might not even have a head. He never takes off his helmet, and we never know if people see his eyes or anything. But a lot of people think it's Robert's head on him. So, but I do think he's definitely the mountain's body.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what is next. We'll just do a couple more.
One man show on Rumble says dental records ?
Yeah, you never know. That is a good one. Let's see. Okay. Tyrion was the actual target of the purple wedding. And that's so the death of Joffrey was poisoned. But there's a good chance it was actually Tyrion. Maybe Cersei was trying to kill. We don't know. Because it was his cup that Joffrey drank from, and that's what most likely was poisoned. He did eat a piece of pie, and he did drink out of the goblet, and that's when he started choking. So Tyrion could have been the target.
Was it in the books though about the Tyrell? She admitted that she killed it.
No, not in the books.
Okay, so it was not in the book. Okay, because I have not read the books up to then. Then maybe it is a possibility then.
Yeah, I don't think she admits it.
Because the only difference in the as far as the wedding was concerned is, I think that it was supposedly a necklace Sansa was wearing in the show versus a hairnet in the books.
Right. The hairnet in the books, and there's a missing bead.
Right.
So they tell, Littlefinger says they're gonna kill you. They're gonna say you're the one. Your hairnet was made out of it. So Littlefinger had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Did she admit to it in the books? No, because Jaime doesn't come to. Yeah, he doesn't go to. He goes to the Riverlands. We never see him over there. Yeah, so that didn't happen in the books with her. Mm-hmm. But it is implied that Littlefinger had something to do with it. But it could have been Cersei trying to kill her brother and ends up killing her own son, and that's why she's so just out of her mind. I always liked that one. It's a good one.
I could totally see that. I mean, I would see. Do you think that Littlefinger would kill Tyrion just because he wanted Sansa?
Well, that's a good reason too, and to be on the good side of Cersei. So that he wins. He's a win-win right there. He wants Sansa to not be married because he's in love with her. And that's a very good point. We're moving that up one. That's a good one. He definitely had something to do with it. Let's see. Oh wow, they do have a Dany as a Firewhite one. I've never seen it. I didn't even see it. Well, that's going right up here.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
I totally believe that one. That's the only one that makes sense. It makes everything with Dany make sense.
Yeah. I wonder how old that is, because we talked about that a few years ago, and I never saw it in anybody else's writing or videos until we talked about it with Stig. So I don't know. That's weird.
I think it was 2021.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, somewhere around there. 2020, 2021. It might have been 2020. Because we started that a long time ago. Yeah, that was fun no matter what.
Maybe someone stole it from you.
Yeah, they did, those bastards.
What's the Red Wedding 2.0?
Where is it?
Referred to? That's the 2 wedding rings on the bottom left.
Red Wedding 2.0. Whose marriage was that supposed to be? Oh crap. I do know that one. Hold on, let me look that up real quick. Red. I know we talked about it before. Here we go from 3 years ago. While not canon, I am a firm believer that there is plenty of evidence of an upcoming Red Wedding 2.0. In this post, goals, blah, blah, blah. Potentially happening. All right. So I plan to list several options, but she's not saying what it is. Okay, so there's a quote. She wants her son alive or the man who killed him dead, said the big man. She wants to feed the crows. Oh, are they talking? Oh, okay. They're talking about there being a Frey Bolton wedding, maybe, and that Lady Stoneheart is going to have have everybody killed. Maybe that's what it is.
Gotcha. So similar to like what Arya did when she went back and did the whole, poisoned the whole phrase.
Yep. Davin is to wed a Frey girl. The price was cheap by any measure. The crown shall grant Riverrun to Sir Edmund Frey. Once the Blackfish yields, Lancel and Devon must marry Frey girls. So there's a chance, Bruce Bolton becomes the Warden of the North, takes home Arya Stark. Yeah, so it's just talking about killing off Freys and Lannisters most likely. That's a kind of interesting one. We might have to go over that.
Yeah.
Okay. One of these days we'll go over that one. I'm going to put it back just because I don't know it that well yet. I thought I knew all these. That's pretty good. I like this one. Brendan Rivers is the three-eyed raven. I say no. Everybody else thinks he's the three-eyed raven. I say no. I think the three-eyed raven is working with the Great Other, and Brendan Rivers can't be it for these reasons. One, when he comes into a dream for Bran, he comes as a weirwood tree. Why would he be both in the same dream? He's a weirwood tree in the dream, not three-eyed raven. Two, when Bran finally gets to the cave and meets Leaf and Brendan Rivers, he asks both of them, "Who are you, the three-eyed raven?" And both of them had no clue what he was talking about. And actually, Brendan Rivers is just like, "I've been called many things," and Leaf is like, what? So I think I'm putting this way up here because this is one of mine that I've been sticking with for about 8 years now, and I'm going to stay with it. That is a definite. Yes, I will not take any battle on that one. We'll do one more. Let's see. Let me find a good one. Rob Ward Catlin? No. Let's see. M plus CT equals John. Who's? Oh, Ned and Catelyn Tully? That's their kid? No, let's not do that one. I like this one. This will be the last one. Bloodraven, the whole thing he's doing it for is to take Bran's body.
Oh, yeah.
I like that idea. So I always thought something would take over Bran. Like, it's too fishy of an idea. Like being underground, into the roots. I don't even know if Brendan Rivers really is himself anymore because he's just been attached to those roots for so long. But I have a feeling whatever is Brendan Rivers will become Bran. Like, it's almost like once you connect all, like they do it in the book or in the series, kind of like all the seers. He's all the seers that ever were. I don't know about that, but Bran will be gone and something will take its place with Bran's memories.
Which would be interesting because if in the books Bran is supposed to be king, well, maybe that's not the end of the story. Is that Bran somehow becomes king, but
right.
part of.
But really, it's the Great Other wins. It's almost like Bran will become king, tricking everybody into being where he needs them to be, almost like he did in the show. And with that, with that comment when they were like, "Will you be king?" And he's like, "That's the reason I came all this way." Like he already knew. Like it's one of those things where like they could have easily set him up as the villain. You know. So I like that one. I think that's a strong one. I'll put that up with fandom worthy. I think you guys agree. It's a good. It would make it great.
All right. Agreed.
We will end there for now. I'd like to have Stig on when we do the rest of them. Which one makes no sense, Vanessa? The red wedding one?
I think it was the purple wedding one.
Or the red wedding 2.0?
The fake purple wedding.
Yeah, okay.
That it was Tyrion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's when she said it.
Okay. We do have Free Folk of the Fandom, friend of the channel, and usually on the on here with us. And my computer is going slow now, so I don't know if it's up or not. You guys see Free Folk of the Fandom's one?
Yes.
It says, okay. Red Wedding 2 is a Lannister and a Frey. Lady Stoneheart and co. will crash it and kill them all. Yep. 100%. One man show says, considering how many of these battle-hardened people have such sparkling Hollywood teeth, they must have awesome dentists, right? He's still talking about that. I love it. That's fantastic.
Awesome dentists, and by going by the TV show, the best birth control that the Middle Ages ever had.
Yeah, amen to that, right?
Everyone should have been pregnant after season 8. The amount of people that were just shagging left and right. The amount of virgins that were shagging left and right for the first time.
Exactly. Like I would have loved to have seen, like, in the last scene as they show Arya going off on her boat, that they look down and she's pregnant.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
And then
and Jaime's baby. She's sitting there with her white cloak and a big. I mean,
I can't stand that, Arya. Oh, I'm gonna go where.
Oh gosh, Brienne is pregnant with Jaime's kid. Oh my gosh, there'd be so many babies out there.
And
that might be a fun stream just to go. Okay, we think of everybody who had sex in season 8. How many babies do we have?
Oh my god, yeah.
In 9 months.
And most of them will be a one-parent one too. So that'd be good. I like that. I like that. But we're going to end it here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. The few that do, I don't care how many people watch this because I just enjoy doing it. So I'm glad you guys enjoy doing it with us. I know a lot of people jumped off, but Vanessa, awesome to see you. And Free Folk, I hope you're on next week with us, Mason. One Man Show. Who else we got? We got Cam's Crash Course. And then who else did Darren and Adega, all you guys up there. Thank you so much. Thank you to Rumble people. I'm going to try tomorrow night to do our first aluminum spork, but I'm going to have to see what's going on with poor Mr. Grant Gregory. So it might be held off for a week, but keep your eye out for notifications on Rumble and on Twitter. Miss Martin Muses, can you let them know what's going on with you?
Well, here on Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. It is going to be a double whammy of pub crawl this week. Tomorrow night with Dad Man Walking, we're talking Civil War battlefields. And Thursday, it is the return of the one, the only, the legend herself, according to Christy, will be on pub crawl. So, yes. So 9:00 Central, Tuesday night, tomorrow night, and Thursday night.
That's awesome. So that's great because right after us on Rumble, because we'll be going at like 7:30 for a little bit, jump over there. That'd be awesome. Teresa's link is in the description on YouTube, so please guys check it out. And Tina, what about you?
I'm pretty much here, and when I'm not here, I'm on Denny Art's channel on Friday nights, and I try to get there on Sunday nights. I just been having to get up early on Mondays lately. That's really about it. One of these days, I'll get down to creating some videos. I got a nice list of wonderful ideas. I just need to find the time, as everybody does. So.
Well, you could do streams too now that you have 100 people, I believe.
Oh, that's a really good point. I got to find something to stream about because I really considered streaming about Loki, but I really couldn't find enough people that were that interested in it.
If you do one, like even after the finale, let me know. I'll jump on.
Oh,
I actually found this season kind of interesting.
Well, I like the fact that they're talking about Loki moving from the god of mischief to the god of stories. And the God of Stories is the most recent run that happened after Loki, Agent of Asgard, which was in like around 2014-ish time. So that would be kind of cool. And then he really would have, a place in whatever replaces Kang Dynasty or even in Secret Wars, because he'd be in control of the timeline and he can rewrite
he'd be like a god.
history.
He'd be a real god. Well, he is a god. But, the one with the best story should be king.
Exactly.
It all works out. It all works out.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that was a little painful too. That one hurt me too. But yeah, we're gonna go out with the intro to Aluminum Spork, because I don't have an ending ever anymore. So listen to a little bit and we'll cut it off at some point. But thank you all for being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Had a lot of fun. We'll see you guys next Monday for a Song of Ice and Fire. Hopefully we'll start tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Aluminum Spork. Wednesday, those guys will definitely be on for the dump. And then Saturday, back with another Talking Random. It'll be a good time. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Peace.
Bye.
I don't know if it's even playing because my stupid computer sucks.
It's playing. We can see it.
Aluminum Spork.